If you're one of the 40% of managers struggling with giving feedback, then this video is for you. You will find out how to give feedback so it's really effective and makes a difference. In a recent Gallup survey, only 1 in 5 employees agreed that the feedback they receive is actually improving their work. Employees do want honest feedback, yet managers don't want to give it, especially when it's going to hurt someone's feelings and the potential drama is holding us back. My name is Kasia Murphy. I'm a business psychologist and I help first-time managers to feel confident in their role by changing the way we communicate. We very often think of feedback as a reflection of whether we are good or bad, or are we good enough? But it's not a very helpful way of thinking about feedback, because it might result in not giving feedback at all. It might hold us back, and to our team it's really damaging. Our team will simply become unproductive and disconnected. If you want your feedback to work, use non-critical and non-judgmental language. Our brains are wired to constantly scan the environment for threats, whether social or physical. Now, if we feel that we're being criticized or judged, our brain will trigger a defense response. Now, if you're giving feedback to someone and you're saying something along the lines, "Gosh, you've already been like 3 times late this week to meetings. What's up with you? What's going on? Which part of no being late policy don't you understand?" Now you can imagine how this person is feeling. In this example, the person that just received this feedback would either freeze and not say anything, or they would defend themselves by giving some sort of excuses, or they might attack you back. So instead, why not try something like this? I've noticed recently that you've been coming late to meetings. This might project the image of you that is not true. Could we talk about some approaches that could help? Another thing to remember is to describe particular behavior, not the person. So to state facts without any judgment. Instead of saying, "You're always interrupting others during meetings," we could say, "I noticed that you start speaking while others are still talking." Instead of saying, "You're always late with your admin work and you never meet deadlines," we could say, "I noticed that when deadline is approaching, your admin work is not ready." Instead of using subjective and judgmental language, we talk about facts, we talk about behaviors, and what we heard someone say. Instead of saying, "You're very critical of your colleagues," we could say, "I heard you say to Tom that he was lazy." So what's the next step in giving feedback? For feedback to be effective and for our employee to be able to improve or correct their behavior, we need to show them that we genuinely care and that we support them. When we add an explanation to what we're saying, people can understand our intentions and respond better. Instead of saying, "You never meet deadlines and your admin work is always late," we could say, "I notice when the deadline is approaching, your admin work is still not ready. And I really want to make sure that everybody is managing their time well. So could we talk about some approaches of changing this?" In feedback, it's really important not to assume anything because we're not sure what's happening for the other person. So if your employee is late with deadlines and is late with the work, there's obviously something happening there, and you might not know what it is until you ask. So it's really good to ask questions, open-ended questions, that will reveal the real reason for your employee to be late with their work, for example. So never assume, because very often, most of the cases, we are wrong in our assumptions. So things to remember about feedback. Feedback is never about the person. It's always about their behavior. Feedback is not about whether we are good or bad. It's about what we do and how we can correct it. And things to remember how to give feedback. So we don't use judgmental or critical language. So be aware of things that you say. Be very supportive and genuinely care about your employee. Don't assume anything. And give explanation to what you're saying. If you like this video and if you want to get regular tips for first-time managers and how to be confident in your role, subscribe to my channel and you will be first to know.